Babu, known for his commitment and his competence in creating the previous city. I must tell you this, 36 years ago, I first came to Hyderabad, that's where I started my earliest programs in engineering. I largely lived in Mysore right from my early childhood. Whenever I came to Hyderabad, I used to think, what a mess this city is. But I came back after about 20. So thanks to his commitment and what we did there. So when it comes to creating living spaces, well, as we all know, after all, happiness or joy is something that happens within a human being. Whether it is a flowering plant that has to grow, or a tree, or an animal, or a human being, it needs a conducive atmosphere for it to flower. Well, many speakers, delegates, saying about what are the conducive atmosphere. Well, ease of living, definitely. The day-to-day living is not complicated. Well, transportation, communication, all these things, you are all the experts, it's not for me to speak about that. But fundamentally, human experience is generated from within. To determine what kind of experience I should be right now is our prerogative. But for most human beings, unfortunately, surroundings determine what is their experience of life. All human experience comes from within us, in the sense, even right now, light is falling upon me, reflecting, going through your lenses, inverted image in the retina, you know the whole story. Actually, you know me only the way I'm being projected in your mind right now. What you see is within you, what you hear is within you. The world is happening within you only the way you have kept yourself. We can address today. For a human being to be happy or joyful, there are two fundamentals, chemistry and geometry. When we say chemistry, today we know medical science is recognizing this very much. All human experience has a chemical basis to it. What you call as happiness is one kind of chemistry, what you call as misery is another kind of chemistry, joy is one kind of chemistry, love is one kind of chemistry, hate is another kind of chemistry, agony, ecstasy, everything and everything has a certain chemical basis to it. Or in other words, who you are is a chemical soup, a very complex chemical soup. The question is only, are you a great soup or a lousy soup? It's a fantastic experience or this is a miserable experience. So how to create a chemistry of our own? Well, we are the only species on the planet who is being referred to as human being. We did not say tiger being, elephant being, grasshopper being. Only for this one we said human being, because this one is supposed to know how to be. That means we are the masters of our experience. Unfortunately, though a large segment of humanity has not gotten to that place, but the reality is, if you wish to take charge of the nature of our experience 100%, it is very much possible, because outside situations, no matter how you envision it, what you do, whether it's in a nation or in a city or even inside your home, outside situations will never happen 100% the way you want them. Hello? Even if you're just two people in the house, does everything happen 100% the way you want it? It will never happen. But the inside situations can happen 100% the way we want it, and that's how it's supposed to happen. What happens in the world, I have a stake in it, but I cannot decide everything that happens there. but what happens within me must be determined by me. As there are technologies for well-being on the outside, similarly there are technologies for well-being on the inner dimension. Unfortunately, humanity has not invested enough in that direction. In creating this chemistry, which is joyful by its own nature, not because of something that we do or do not do, just joyful by its own nature. I'm just asking you a simple question. Suppose you had a choice between being blissful and miserable, what would be your choice for yourself? It's a question.
Blissful?
Blissful? At least for yourself, it is definitely highest level of pleasantness for yourself. What you want for your neighbor sometimes may be debatable, but what you want for yourself is 100% clear that you want this to be in the highest level of pleasantness of experience. You can call it joy, happiness, love, this, that. Essentially, you're looking for a pleasant experience of life. Because pleasantness is not a goal by itself. If this body and this intelligence has to function at its highest, this must be in a pleasant state of experience. There is substantial scientific and medical proof today that unless you're in a pleasant state of experience, neither your body nor your brain functions at its best. So to bring this, to manage our chemistry, there is an important dimension called geometry of life. Everything physical in the universe has a form. A form means if it is geometrically in a conducive state, it will naturally exist with ease. If it is geometrically not in a conducive state, it will naturally be stressed. Just people have forgotten how to sit and stand. In this culture, we instill this, if you want to do your prayer, how you must sit, if you want to study, how you must sit. For everything there was a posture and a particular way of handling the body, because the physical geometry of the body and the geometry of the spaces in which you live, because you're aspiring to create a happy city or the happiest city, he doesn't go for anything less than that happiest city. It's very important, the geometry of the spaces are supportive to the nature of the human being. A lot of care was taken when we built ancient cities like this, but today we're just building for convenience. See, individual human beings live in different states. Some people are living just to survive, that is the only thing they can think of. Some people are thinking of doing well in the society. Some people are looking at the highest possible experience they can have in their life. They understand it's a limited amount of time. Unless you make this truly wonderful, in the end, there is nothing. Those who understand the nature of our life as being mortal, that we are here only for a short space of time, the only thing that we have is the profoundness of our experience. Those who understand are aspiring for the highest possible experience of life. Similarly, cities or structures are built, some are just purely utilitarian, some are for aesthetics, some are for creating a certain ambience of experience. All these dimensions are there. A city should take these into considerations because people will not be fulfilled just by survival, just by economic activity. You will see in business districts I was just some time ago, recently, I was just driving through a business district of Washington, D.C. All young people, well-dressed people, obviously they're earning a good living. If you look at their clothing, the way they are and the place where they are. But this is their lunchtime, they've all come out. They're standing on the streets where there are a lot of things being sold. Everybody is eating these big burgers or whatever you call them, where you need a mouth space like a hippopotamus. Like this, like that, they're biting, standing and eating. I just stopped at a traffic light, I was just looking at them. What is the fate of a human being that today you have to eat like this? We created a whole process. If you want to eat, how you must address the food. Because the very body that you carry is the food that you eat. If you don't treat the food properly, you think the food will treat you well? The air that you breathe, the earth that you walk upon, the water that you drink, if you don't learn how to relate to these things, they will not relate to you well. These five basic elements which make our system and our city and our nation and our world, if we don't treat them well, they don't treat us well. So a city should take this into consideration. I'm happy to see 30% is blue-green, that is fine, but still creating the culture of engagement with all the ingredients which make our life. In this, our own chemistry, and of course, when we say outside chemistry, people are talking and carbon dioxide expelling thing, but at the same time, you can pump carbon dioxide into your bottle and call it the real thing and it sells across the world. So, we need to understand that the way we're relating to the world, the way we're relating to all that makes our life, we think it's just our money and our family and our property. No. Everything that we relate to on a moment-to-moment basis, there is a certain way of conducting this. The very atmosphere that we create, the geometry of the buildings and the surroundings we create can focus a human being towards that. It is possible to do that. Whatever the little design factor that they were showing of the Isha Yoga Center is just about that the geometry is created in such an intricate way. Today, there is scientific research telling that this is doing wonderful things. The simple thing is, we always have uneven floors. Intentionally, I designed like this. People said, this is not convenient, make it smooth, we can just walk blind. I said, no, you have to walk with your eyes open. And today, medical science is telling you, if you walk on uneven floors, your neurological system will be very healthy. Most probably you will not get dementia and Alzheimer's in your old age if you're continuously walking on uneven surfaces. Is it not important that we have forgotten? We already have dementia, we have forgotten where we come from. We have forgotten the land that we walk upon, we have forgotten the air that we breathe, we have forgotten the water that we drink. We are already suffering dementia from a very early age. It's very important that we create spaces, if not the entire city, at least spaces where people are inevitably guided to get engaged with everything that they're in touch with, all the ingredients that make our life. Physical creation is essentially geometric, whether an atomic structure or the cellular structure. I was just looking, somebody is trying to create some cellular structure in the ceiling. The universe or the cosmos. Today, modern science has come up with something called as constructional theory, where they're talking about how the atom and the cosmos are fundamentally same design. Complexity and sophistication is multiplying, but fundamentally same design. This is something always is the basis of the yogic process, that the way you are made in some way is the way the cosmos is made. How we can relate this? The entire system of yoga is about mastering the geometry of your existence. How you sit, how you stand, how you breathe, all these aspects, because a city or a space or a building can create joy simply because of the type of geometry it has and how it relates to your existence. So it's great that we are thinking of happy cities, happy world.
You can guide us, demand development, values and happiness. How it is changing? What is the correlation, or positive or negative?
Development need not necessarily mean… We were, you know this very well, 25 years ago or 30–40 years ago, in this country, money means we talked about a lakpati. That means somebody who has 1 lakh rupees is a big man. Then 10–20 years ago, we started talking about crorepati. One who has 100 lakhs is a big man. Today, if you talk anything less than 100 or 1,000 crores, you're no good. So, by enlarging the numbers, Nothing is happening to life as such. We're just multiplying things in our mind and thinking we can become big. No, no, nothing will happen that way. This is like, you have one chair to sit, you can only sit on one chair. But if you put two mirrors on either side, this will multiply into 100 chairs and you can believe that you have 100 chairs. But actually there's only one chair. What is on this planet, only that much is there. There's nothing more, nothing less. The question is only how we use it. Are we using it for our well-being? Our well-being, does it include the well-being of the next and the next generations to come, or are we the last generation on this planet? Are we sensible human beings, first of all? Because our existence here is a brief amount of time. We just have a relay game to play. Somebody has given this to us, we're carrying it and giving it to the next generation. How much can we consume, what can we do is something we have to determine. With all this extra that we do, our life doesn't become extra in any way. If one is trying to enhance their lives by accumulation, either money or knowledge or wealth or whatever, accumulation means this. Suppose I have a bigger heap than yours, then I think I'm better than you. This must go in a society. Unfortunately, diamond, for example, everybody wants to put it in their nose, in their ears, all over them, whatever. But believe me, if you cut glass properly, a glass will look more beautiful than a diamond. Most people will not know what is a diamond, what is a glass if it's well cut. Suppose all the streets of Amaravati you paved with diamonds, would they want to put it on their neck? No. So right now the value of that is only that others cannot have it. This has to go in a city, in a community. What I have doesn't make me better than you or anybody else. What I have accumulated determines how big I am. If that is so, it is always like this, I enjoy what you don't have. If I have eaten well and you have not eaten, now I enjoy this. Tell me, is this happiness or sickness? If this sickness is taken away from a society, a whole lot of things will be fixed. The value of what a human being is because of who he or she is, for the worth that they are as a life, not because of what they have gathered in their life. Because gathering can be done in so many ways. The thing that people who dwell in the city must be made to understand, it's just that we've not worked on it, that's all, is that this is our city and it's our responsibility. Somebody may build something beautiful, are we going to keep it that way? It's a big question mark always. And no administration can keep it clean if the people are not committed to keeping it clean. No administration. Doesn't matter what they do. So, will enforcement happen forcefully, or do we create systems so that right from childhood, people are brought up in such a way that they will follow the traffic rules, they will follow the cleanliness rules, they will follow other sustainable development goals that we have? These things must be done. One big challenge for a city, an ideal city that we are trying to build will be the influx of population. Once you build a beautiful place, the influx of population that'll happen from rural areas. Simultaneously, urbanizing rural India is very, very important. If you do not urbanize rural India, urban centers in India will not succeed because the influx of people will be so heavy. Homes, most of them are just shacks. We can easily, if we convince one village to do that, because you managed to convince 33,000 acres, I'm saying this, if we convince one village that they pool all this land, this 25 acres, anyway 2 FSI is there, you can build 50 floors, just 1 acre. Remaining 24 acres will be forested with lakes and trees and everything. Everybody gets to have the best atmosphere. It can be made any kind of waste going out of the thing, everything can be within. And in this building…
Are all of you happy with the conversation? I don't want to set the mood.